Hey guys, in this video I'm going to go over some long tail keyword strategies that you can use for your Amazon sponsored ads campaign to boost your KDP sales. So there are a few ways to go about this, and I'll share with you one of my major tactics for doing this. The purpose of this is kind of twofold. So one is to find the keywords that work that you wouldn't usually think of, and that may not be directly relevant for you, but that convert well. And the second is to find keywords that are super cheap, where even if they don't convert well, you can still bid on them just because you can get the keywords for relatively cheap. So let's say you're working on coloring books, and this is the same kind of example I was going with on the previous video. Let's choose. So with this practice, what you want to do is you want to find your closest competitors, so the ones that might have the closest keywords to you, and you want to collect those books. So ideally, the ones that you're collecting are the ones that have a good BSR or bestseller rank, so that they already have a lot of keywords indexed. If it's a new listing or if it's not getting any sales, then you're not going to find very good keywords to work with. So for this one, I'm going to copy the ASIN number, and I'll put it here, and we'll click on, so what I might do is I might just click on get competitors. And what you want to do is you want to, I'm just going to do this to make it easy, but ideally what you want to do is you want to go through all of them, also go through all the search results here, and just look for the ones, just generally, during your research process, find the listings that are most relevant for you, and then compile a list of 10 of those. And you can also use, by the way, I'm using Helium 10's Cerebro tool for this. There isn't any other tool, at least that I know of, where you can actually do this. You'll go to, so let's say I've typed in these two, and then you can click on get competitors, and you can find other similar listings, and go to each of those listings and see which ones might be relevant for you. I'm just going to choose a bunch of random ones here without looking at the listing, and let's just say I choose 3. You should populate all 10 of them if you can. If not, that's fine as well. And now we're going to click on get keywords. So what this does is it works in reverse to find their keywords, and to see everything that A, they're ranking for, but also B, what they're advertising for as well. So these are the sponsored keywords. And what the other thing as well is that you're not actually going to get all the keywords. I know this because I've done this for my own listings. So you'll only get a portion of them. And the other thing to keep in mind is don't do the listings one at a time, because, for example, if I only did this ASIN first, and then this one second, and then this one third, you'll find that there's going to be some overlap between these keywords. And in order to avoid that happening, it's good to have them all bunched up together so that you can have them all here. Obviously, you can also do them individually and then sort through them on an Excel spreadsheet and remove the duplicates. But to make life a bit easier, this is the method that we're going to go. Now, the next step is, this is going to depend on your strategy and also the budget that you're using. So let's say that you have a very small budget, you want to be super targeted, then I would start just with the sponsored keywords. So you have 2,000 keywords here, and I would just start with these, and I would start with these on a phrase basis. If, on the other hand, and then the other thing that you can do is you can use all the keywords, but then have a super low bid on it. So the next step now is to export the data, and then click on export as CSV, and then I'm going to get the CSV file. I'm running this on a Mac, so it's not going to open Excel, but it's going to open Numbers from, which is the default software on Mac. And here I can filter out the ones that are actually sponsored. So if I only wanted to use sponsored keywords, then I can make sure that this doesn't have a 0 on it. So I can run a filter on this. If you don't know, if you can also do this on Google Sheets or Microsoft Excel, you just click on, I think it's like filter data or something like this, and it will sort it for you. And what you want to do is you want to, once the data here is sorted, then you can copy the actual keywords themselves and just like so. And the next step is, if you're running, let's say, if you want to run something that's much more targeted, then you can start with only the keywords that are already sponsored. So the ones that are all ones here, and get rid of the ones that are zeros here, and have the match type as phrase. Okay, so the first way is to method 1, target all the sponsored keywords, and then have it on broad targeting. And then when you build a campaign, so let's say that, and each ad group can hold up to 1,000 keywords. So it depends on how many keywords you're working with here and how you want to divide it. I generally have it divided so that I'll have 300 per campaign. So let's say here we'll copy, okay, well, let's say that I've selected all of them. So here we'll choose 300 keywords and we'll copy that. And then this will be one ad campaign. And then within this one ad campaign, we'll have one ad group. And all right, and then you can have your paperback, your Kindle listings, or you can have them separate if you want to as well. I generally have them grouped together, so then you'll have your actual listing itself. And what I'll do is I'll have here 300 keywords. So these are the 300 keywords that are, oh, sorry, this is not supposed to be broad. This is supposed to be phrase. So I'm gonna see if I can delete this. I'm not sure how I delete it. Okay, I'm just gonna do it like this. So this should actually be phrase. All right, phrase. Okay, so these are phrase match, and you'll have your 300 keywords. So if you're doing it with 2,000, that's a ton of keywords. So if it's this many keywords, I will probably divide it higher. I might make it, let's say 600. So if you do 600 divided, 1,862 divided by 600 is 3. So you'll have 3 separate campaigns that you can run. And I will probably run these each at, let's say, $20. And I would also have it only on a bid down strategy rather than fixed or bid up and down, because we don't know anything about these keywords. We don't know how well they're going to do. And the whole purpose of this is to collect data about which keywords are going to work for us. The whole idea is to collect a wide spectrum of keywords. So basically cast a very wide net and see which of the keywords are the ones that might convert, so that we might take them out and put them into our core group, right? So, and the other thing as well is you want to have the keywords, the bids, relatively low. So you might start off with, let's say, 10 cents. I usually start with 20, but let's say you start with 10 cents, and then you see how your impressions look. Give it, a few days. If you get no impressions or very little impressions and no clicks, then, increase it incrementally. So then try it at, let's say, 15 cents. See how the clicks goes, and then do it again, and then go up to 20, and wait until you start getting clicks. And after you start getting clicks, and then the next step is to see whether you get any sales, obviously. So once a listing gets, let's say 10 or 20 clicks, and if there's still no sales yet, then you can put those keywords back down. So you can, let's say it went up to 20 cents, nothing happens, you have 20 clicks, and there are no sales. So then we'll bring it back down to 15 cents. And then if it's getting no impressions, that's fine. Somebody might be bidding on them and they might run out of budget, and you'll get the impressions for those once they run out. And if still nothing happens 15, then continue taking it back down again as well. So this is one of the ways that you can approach it. The other way that you can approach it is by taking an even bigger net and using all the keywords. In which case, I would have one campaign, and then not one campaign totally, but let's say with the first campaign, we would have again one ad group, and we would also have and then we would have, let's say, 1,000 keywords if we just want to make it really easy. And the idea is to have really low bids, so that when you have all these keywords, you might find some that work, and I generally do always find keywords that work based on this strategy. And altogether, if you have 8,000 keywords, so that means you'll have all in all you'll have 8 campaigns. No, actually you'll have 9 campaigns because it's slightly more. So you'll have 9 campaigns, and then each campaign you'll have one ad group. And in terms of the match type, you'll do it on broad so that you cast as wide a net as possible. If you want to be more conservative about it, then you can go with phrase instead. And then do the exact same thing as before. So set the bids really low. Let's say start from, you can even start from 5 cents if you want to, and then work your way up to a number where you're getting impressions and then eventually getting clicks as well. If you're not getting sales, by the way, and the other thing to make sure is that your listing actually converts. So for example, if you have no reviews and you're not getting any conversions even on your core phrases, your core keywords, so keywords that should be converting, then it might not be the keywords themselves, it might actually be your listing. So make sure you go back and fix your listing first, make sure that the cover image is good, make sure that the price is reasonable, make sure that you have good copy, and make sure just that you have your fundamentals in a good place. So assuming that those things are in a good spot, then you can iterate through this process, and exactly as we've done before, you'll take the keywords that convert well and place them into its own dedicated campaign. The other thing I didn't mention before is if it's doing well here, don't shut it off, because the thing is that the campaign accrues history, and the new campaign is new, so obviously it doesn't have any history, and the keyword may not convert in your dedicated core campaign, and it will continue to convert in the original campaign. So you'll need to give the new campaign some time to let it figure it out, and sometimes it works really well in the new dedicated campaigns, and other times not as well. So remember not to pause or turn off or change the bids for this one. What you want to do instead is just reduce the bids for all the ones that's not converting, but leave the ones that are converting, so that ultimately you'll have these two campaigns running simultaneously. And as long as it's providing you with profitable clicks, then you want to keep it active, and you also don't want to be making too many changes either, because you might be stuffing up the campaigns. So remember that the history accrues in this campaign, so you might be getting better performance in this campaign. Don't switch it off, don't pause it, leave it as it is, but take out the keywords that are performing well. You can run search term reports, because you're going to get through this process. I mean, when you're running 8,000 whatever keywords, you're going to be getting a lot of search terms. So run the search term report, you'll get an Excel spreadsheet, and then you can sort through the ones that have gotten you sales, and you want to throw them into your core campaign. I generally look for keywords that have converted at least 2 sales, but I mean, if it's just got 1 sale, it might be worth trying as well and throwing it in there. And the good thing is that this campaign it actually runs very profitably, even with all the 1,000 keywords running. You might think that it doesn't. It's not profitable, but the reason why it's profitable is just because, I mean, when people are seeing an ad and they click it, which is when, you know, you get charged. You don't get charged for the impression, which is what happens with, you know, Facebook and TikTok. Then if they've clicked it, it means that they have some interest in the book. So generally speaking, when you're running these sort of campaigns, you can get the whole campaign to work pretty profitably, and then the ones that are not working well, you just reduce the bids until they, you know, they work better for you. So they will either stop getting impressions, or you'll be getting clicks cheaper, and if at the cheaper price that they're still not converting, then you just keep reducing, and you adjust your campaigns this way, so that you have a group of campaigns that are long tail campaigns that are very profitable. So this is one of the strategies, and there is another one which I have shared in my Patreon group. So if you go there, you can see the second way that I have used to scale my campaigns on Amazon Ads, and I hope to see you there.